Yeah, so more riots at the Capitol. I mean, they're going to have to pick a whole other day now. It's going to have to be, an October 2023 day now instead of January 6th. Because man, these were these were just as bad as the first ones. Let me pause this thing. It's probably screwing with. So I'm going to read this article here by CBS News. So just as much as of a dumpster fire as CBC News. They just changed the S or the C to an S, and and it probably stands for shit. So here we go. So it says protesters on Capitol Hill call for Israel-Gaza ceasefire. Hundreds arrested. So hundreds of protesters demonstrated on Capitol Hill, an occupied part of the House building on Wednesday, urging lawmakers in the Biden administration to push for a ceasefire in Gaza, which has been under Israeli airstrikes since the deadly Hamas terror attack. Dressed in black t-shirts emblazoned with the words "Jews say ceasefire now" and "not in our name," the activists sat clapping and singing on the floor in the rotunda, their Cannon House office building, and held up large banners that read "Ceasefire and let Gaza live." We warned the protesters to stop demonstrating, and when they did not comply, we began arresting them. The U.S. Capitol Police said in a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter. Capitol Police said protests are not allowed inside the building. They told CBS News the protesters entered the building legally and properly through visitor security checkpoints and were permitted to gather and congregate, but failed to follow police warnings after beginning the demonstrations. That's funny because notice how they frame that in this article, where they say, "Oh, that they entered the building legally and properly." Okay, they were they. This wasn't a riot. This was they legally and properly entered this building, but they weren't supposed to be in to protest like this. But they did it legally and properly. Not like they opened the doors or anything for the Jan 6 protesters. I don't know. I remember seeing that somewhere, I think, but different. It's a different thing altogether. Police gave an early estimate that about 300 demonstrators were arrested, but said the number could grow as they continue processing arrests. These people were charged with assaulting police officers. Capitol Police said on social media, "Oh, they assaulted police officers. That's weird. Oh, I guess it's okay because they were protesting the right thing." The protest was organized by the group Jewish Voice for Peace, a Jewish anti-Zionist organization. How is that the same thing? That's a I I don't know. That's like saying the gay men that like having sex with women. Like it's a complete that's an idiot statement. A Jewish anti-Zionist organization. How can you be so oh so anti-Zionist? Hold on, am I reading this right? A Jewish anti-Zionist organization. Are they Zionists or are they anti-Zionists? And if they're anti-Zionist, what are they calling for here? People are people are weird. I might be wrong here, so I might have to eat crow on that. But if they're Zionists and they want the destruction of the Jewish state, well, then they're stupid. If they're anti-Zionist, then okay. But then what the heck are they? What are they protesting here? They're protesting the Jewish people to not defend themselves against terror attacks. This is all nonsense. You would think that there are certain things that would be very clear. You see a bunch of terrorists killing babies and raping women and doing all the shit they did um, in that one day. What it was October 6th or 7th, whatever it was. Um, you'd think that people would say, yeah, that's completely wrong, and uh, the Jewish state should go in there and just completely end Hamas. But you still get a bunch of idiots that will disagree with that somehow. But I don't know. Anyways, okay. So my point of this whole article, realistically, is without getting into the article too much, is to make the point that that's quite hypocritical that one riot is fine and the other riot is not. One's an insurrection, one isn't. It's we live in a clown world at this point, so I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully they get their heads screwed on straight, and this doesn't turn into a much bigger thing, and they can actually start calling a spade a spade. A riot's a riot. This is a riot. The other one's a riot. Let's get rid of stupid words that don't actually make sense and just call them what they actually are.